Southern California is now being taken over by flames, forcing even more people to evacuate as a new rapidly spreading fire burns in Los Angeles County.
A little bit surrounded by, quite a few other homes, but that doesn't seem to matter anymore. These fires get going and they can get through there pretty quick. When we can see it coming, we're out of here.
How crews are working to tackle this fire and what environmental challenges that they are now facing.
Yeah, we're tracking the smoke from all those wildfires. Plus, things are getting really hot around here. Might have a heat advisory in place for you here. We'll track the heat for you next.
The Trump administration is now asking the Supreme Court to intervene in an ongoing case over recent immigration raids. Hear why a judge says ICE agents were detaining people without probable cause and how the White House is responding.
And Fox 26 News and Fast Fare are teaming up to give families a helping hand during back-to-school season with some random acts of kindness. A look at the heartwarming moment when Kopi surprised a few back-to-school shoppers at the Apple Store.
You're watching Fox 26, and now, great day.
And we begin this 5 o'clock hour with a live look at the Sundial Bridge in Redding. Not a bad way to get your Friday morning going to start off your weekend. Good morning. I'm Carl Cook.
And I'm Christina Rodriguez.
I'm Justin Willis. Thank you for joining us here on this Friday. Yeah, last Friday for a lot of kids out there before they go back to school next week.
That's right.
And, well, unfortunately, it's going to be a similar heat today as it will be for the first day of school Monday. So
nothing says going back to school like some triple digits.
There we go. And that's what you're getting out there. So let's take a look and see what's going on today. Tracking that heat for you right now. We're already at 72 degrees. Fairly clear skies out there. Dew points at 56. No winds happening at the moment. Fairly calm there. The rest of the day, though, it's going to be sunny and hot. 84 degrees already at 10 a.m. At noon, we'll be at 92. 5 o'clock, we're going to be at 103 degrees. And we don't have a whole lot of wind out there to take the edge off the heat. Only 4-mile-an-hour winds at the end of the day in Fresno. Coming up, though, this next weather maker is making a lot of heat. Yeah, we'll explain what's going on with that. Plus, we'll track the smoke from the nearby wildfires.
Los Angeles County and Ventura County fire crews are working under unified command with help from the Los Angeles National Forest providing air support. More than 150 firefighters, 11 fixed-wing aircrafts, and 7 helicopters are battling to gain control over those flames. Now, that new wildfire in Los Angeles and Ventura counties is prompting thousands of evacuations. This one being called the Canyon Fire. It sparked yesterday afternoon in an area east of Lake Peru. Now, according to CAL FIRE, it's burned more than 4,800 acres and is still not contained as of this morning. According to the National Weather Service, temperatures were nearing triple digits when that fire broke out. A man who lives in Castaic says that the flames spread quickly.
I got the notification on my phone. Came home, I thought, fires pop up all the time, not a big deal. By the time we got home, the cloud of smoke was coming up over that hill and kind of going east.
Now again, Los Angeles and Ventura counties are working under the unified command with that help from the National Forest providing the air support. More than 150 firefighters, 11 fixed-wing aircrafts, and those 7 helicopters are battling to control those flames at this time. Today marks a week since the Gifford Fire started in Santa Barbara County and San Luis Obispo County. Evacuation orders remain in effect for both areas as the fire has nearly reached the 100,000 acre mark. As of this morning, it is still just 15% contained. Firefighters are battling tough terrain, winds, difficult access, and even some heavy fuels to fight the growing Gifford Fire.
All right, so what about the smoke from all those fires? Well, we're tracking the upper air and the surface level one, so here we go. By 10 o'clock this morning, this is kind of the area. And the upper air is starting to drift into the San Joaquin Valley. And check it out here as we go throughout the day into tonight. Things really start moving north with that heavy smoke in the upper air. Check it out. It starts drifting over the Fresno area here by tomorrow morning there and really gets all the way up into Northern California there with that one puff moving there. And as long as that fire keeps going, our upper air is going to be at risk. How about on the surface? How is that impacting us? Well, by 10 o'clock this morning, it's going to be along the eastern hills there of Tulare County, but a lot of the heavy stuff is hanging out there to the south. But we get throughout the day there, and then things move up into the western hills there of Kern County, Fresno County, maybe even up into Kings County there, but that would be very light stuff at that time. Maybe light stuff pushing up into Visalia there, but Porterville could see some heavy surface smoke there by tomorrow morning there, so you want to be on alert for that. I wouldn't be surprised if we see an air quality alert in our region because of that. As of right now, no air quality alert, but we do have some light smoke there that's going to be impacting us. There is, though, an air quality alert in Southern California related to those fires, but also they're seeing elevated levels of ozone. So all kinds of things happening down there. This air quality alert along the Grapevine, stretching down into the desert regions there. That's in effect until tomorrow night at 8 o'clock there. As far as the heat goes, well, we're all dealing with it this weekend. There is an extreme heat warning there in effect for the desert regions there. That's in effect until tonight at 8 o'clock. By the way, Palm Springs, as hot as it is always there, they set a record yesterday. They got to 119 degrees. That beat the old record of 116 that they had. Yeah, Palm Springs setting records, right? And then another extreme heat warning that's in effect over closer, further west there, or further east for you there. Heat advisory also for LA and San Diego, by the way, triple digits in those regions. And well, there it is, high pressure. It's really building up for us, and it's going to be very intense this weekend. So stand by for more heat alerts for our region. It's going to be very dry out there as well. 36% overall, which isn't terrible, but it's going to drop down to about 13% at its lowest there. So going to be very dry out there for us today. We are at a moderate fire risk because of that. Fortunately, the wind speeds aren't terribly high for our region, but very dry out there. We're going to rebound to 41% tonight. Dew point, there's another issue for you there. Up to 57 degrees on that dew point today, which could contribute to the heat index. Might feel intensely hot out there, and we're forecasting at 104. It might feel hotter than that today. Excuse me, 103 is what we're forecasting for today. Tomorrow it's going to be 104. Sunday it's going to be 105, and then we got upper 60s and low 70s for your overnight lows. In just a little bit here, we're going to go over your highs and lows across the rest of the San Joaquin Valley.
Democrats in California are rushing against the clock to plan an emergency election to redraw congressional maps. California Democrats are looking to slash 5 Republican House seats, leaving only 4. But the governor and the Democratic-dominated legislature have already fanned past deadlines to organize voting information. This comes as an attempt to counter the redrawn maps by Republicans out in Texas. Democrats are hoping to have revised maps as early as next week for a November election. Now, the discussion surrounding redistricting is playing out in more than just the states like here and in Texas. In Indiana, Republicans are also now debating whether to redistrict mid-decade, potentially getting the GOP 2 more seats in Congress. And just yesterday, Florida's legislature announced that it's launching a committee to study this issue, while New York's governor says that she's going to counter any changes in red states. In Maryland, Democratic lawmakers are threatening to eliminate the state's only Republican-held districts. Maryland's governor, a potential 2028 presidential candidate, has yet to say if he'll support the effort. In South Carolina, Congressman Ralph Norman wants the maps redrawn to remove the state's only Democratic seat. Ohio will redraw its maps, but not because of the current political pressure. Instead, it's mandated by law to redraw the congressional lines before next year's midterms. That's because the previous map was passed without bipartisan support in the legislature. President Trump is remaining optimistic on future talks with Russian President Vladimir Putin. While the leaders' next meeting will likely focus on a Russia-Ukraine ceasefire and what a deal between the nations could look like. The Pentagon is now revealing plans to build a migrant detention facility in Texas. How this new facility will help the Trump administration in its immigration crackdown.
The South Valley Skycam, sponsored by BD&J Injury Lawyers.
And a live look now at the Fresno. We're looking live now at Lake Cahuilla, courtesy of BD&J Injury Lawyers. Look at a nice little breeze there to start off your morning. Time now is 5:08. You can find new headlines and the weather forecast on your screen all morning long, even through the commercial break.
Hi, I'm Monty Torres with Fox 26 News on YouTube. Thank you for checking out our YouTube channel, where we have loads of great content for you to choose from. And while you're here, why not click on the subscribe button right here? That way you can stay in touch with all the latest breaking news, everything news related within the Central Valley. And thank you for watching.